We recently gathered at Guy's Garage. We tried to get as many of our friends as possible to come over and devote a day to helping Jim get the overhaul on his GS1100E moving along. He had to do brake lines, front tire, restore wheels, buff the paint, among other things. And there was some things we even did the chain. We we found a lot of little things to correct. The biggest one was the brakes. And Guy spent basically a couple of nights before we got there working on the engine, and I rebuilt the carbs and installed the front tire, and we got everything together on a day, wound up at Guy's Garage, and we ended the video with a great visit with a stunt bike rider. So let me set the stage for today's little project that we're going to work on. I get up to Guy's, I got all my polishing stuff here, and we're going to have a work day at Guy's Garage. He's of course had a track day already with the Triumph. I don't know if he took video that day or not. I see the Triumph is back, all back together. And what we're here to do is we're going to work on Jim's GS. I'm going to try to do some cleanup work. We got some carburetors, some airbox stuff, air filters. He put a new petcock on this. He went to go get food, so he's got, let's see what he did here. He's got the carbs back on a bike anyway. Anybody doesn't know it's a pain in the neck to get the GS carbs off. Okay, everything's back in. Now my part of this job is I'm going to try to do some cleanup on this as I possibly can, and the Jot came with me. He's going to try to help a certain amount, whatever we can do. Try to get this cleaned up a bit. And if you've never been to Guy's Garage, he's got a beautiful Tornado, an R1 that he's working on for a friend, and of course his track bike that's been painted on Windy Videos. Hey, it looks pretty good here. Anyway, and the day is supposed to be nice, but this is the project of the day right here. So the original problem was that Jim had taken a bike out on rides up on Hackettstown up his way, and had some issues with the engine that it never made it back home. It was starving for fuel. We took the original carbs and I rebuilt them. Two of the main jets, the two main jets on the two middle carbs, you couldn't even see through them. Pretty much that was clean. We brought another set of carbs up here, but I see there's going to be a lot of cleanup on this. I can see now. I already cleaned up the back wheel and put a front tire on it, and that I did separately during the week. So that's got a brand new Michelin. I did the rim, cleaned the brakes up. It still needs brake lines. He's still working on replacing the brake lines. So we're just going to see how much we can get done today. And the weather, actually it's probably a half of a riding day, but it's supposed to be really crappy. I see he's got, this is my bag of old brake lines. We'll see if any of those are usable. And basically we're just going to have a nice work day and hang out here. Hey, that wheel did come out pretty good. Anyway, let me get started polishing some of this stuff up. Now I just want to see, as I start, I want to see if that black engine paint can be cleaned up realistically. Well, I guess we're going to find out in about 2 minutes. Now you've got to be really careful with these engines that are painted as opposed to the ones that are raw aluminum, because you could very easily, if you overdo the buffing of the paint, you've got to clean it up while removing as little material as possible. So I just can't do this like it's the hood of a car, but I wanted to make it as good as I possibly could make. And just having it clean by the end of the day, I'm sure Jim will be, he's away having some medical stuff done. When he gets back, I hope he's going to be happy that his bike will be clean, and maybe Guy will get the carb issue finalized. Definitely a little improvement. Now I'm going to just go around and various parts of the bike I can do a little polishing on. Again, nothing special. I don't want to make a 2-hour video out of this, but just getting it at least clean. You can see your hand in it anyway. I'm going to try to clean this as much as I can. And the big thing is I want to work on the back wheel at the end of this. I'd like to get it Well, the front wheel, when I did it, that was about 7 hours to do that front wheel. Anyway, I don't know if we have 7 hours today. Now, to finish that Suzuki put on these mufflers, the exhaust I have on mine has black chrome. It's an 86. I don't know what finish this was, but any of the finishes, if you're not careful and you overdo the buffing, you can buff right through, and then you're in trouble. And the same thing with the paint on the engine. So the whole technique we're trying to use here is I have the soft pad, not on the big industrial buffer, on the little buffer. And as soon as it's coming up clean, it's time to quit. If you overdo this, you wind up going right through, and then it's worse than when you started. And it's always a good thing to keep in mind when you have a 42-year-old bike that's been neglected by previous owners. You're not looking for total perfection. What you're looking for is to make it as good as you can and still keep as much of the original finish on the metal parts and, of course, on the paint. When we get to doing the paint, I'll explain more. I don't want to overdo the buffing on this. Yeah, that looks like a little bit of an improvement over what it was. But again, I'm tackling one piece at a time here while I'm waiting for them to get back. Now, I've got a lot of videos out on the channel of polishing titanium exhausts, polishing chrome exhausts, and the difference, and just doing general engine polishing. But cleaning up an engine, especially, it looks like this one might have been left out in the rain for years. I don't know. Making that black as clean as we could. I used some diesel fuel on a paintbrush, got in between the fins by hand. It was a total labor of love, but the exhaust in particular, I wanted to get it is really as nice as I possibly can. And because this is the stock exhaust, I really thought it was worth putting in the time, because these bikes, if you're going to use them on a street and you want to have the original exhaust, almost impossible to find. This one is still in pretty decent shape. I wanted to preserve it as much as I could. And one piece at a time. Now I'm seeing this piece has some scratches on it. If they're going to not work on this, I'll bring this home and paint it by my house. Put a fresh coat of this engine paint on it. I think I do have some engine paint. But the pipes, the ones in the middle, I'm going to have to do by hand. The top of the engine here, a lot of this you can get by hand. An awful lot of hand work. But in the end, even in here in less than an hour, I've got a lot of it cleaned up. And to me, it's a lot nicer when working on a bike when it's cleaned up. Now, getting in all these little detailed areas, what I like to do is I have a little bit of diesel fuel on a rag, and just it cuts through a lot of the grease very, very quickly. And then I want to get in between all the fins. Uh-oh, the neighbor with the Harley's already leaving for a ride. And little by little, we'll get making some good progress here, actually. Now, you don't see it on the video, but I had already had the front wheel in my shop, and I did what I thought was the best restoration possible. It was in pretty corroded shape. I had to replace the tire valve. That was a problem. And the problem with a GS front wheel, a standard valve doesn't fit in it. It's totally round. It doesn't have a flat spot for the valve. So inside. So there's very unique stuff had to go into the front wheel, and getting it balanced, of course, I had the front wheel in the bank. But now the back wheel, I needed to get it that it looked a little bit like the front wheel, even though this would have been a lot easier to do if it was off the bike. I could get in by the spokes and stuff. But Najat was going to do the other side of the bike with the chain, with the diesel fuel, and he was going to totally clean the chain right down to making it gold again. And I decided this would just be while I was waiting for the crew to get back. They had some things to do, and I could get as much of this dirty work done before they got back. And that back wheel, I wanted it to match the front wheel as much as possible. There were some gouges in it and some different things, but in the end, it was a labor of love, but I think I got most of it as good as I could. Almost. The back wheel almost as good as I got almost this side of the bike cleaned up at least, but that front wheel did come out nice. Huh?
And now I'm going to spill fuel all over. All right.
Oh no! We're going to start the bike. Here we go. I got to get my fire hat on. Now it's funny, both Guy and I bumped into the end of the handlebars. We both are bleeding from the forehead. So we put a rag up on top. Is that the dumb?
Look.
Yeah, I know. I got the same. I don't know. I don't put it on video. They don't need to see my face. I'm all full of rubbing compound and diesel fuel here. But the back wheels start to come together. This is the part that's going to take time. The chain, the sprocket, this side usually takes a lot longer. And then we want to, at the end, well, they're going to work on that while they're not working. I'm going to try to clean this side of the engine up. And it will be up. These almost, you need some Meguiar's wax or something to clean the instruments up. I didn't want to touch up there. You going to start it?
Yeah.
All right. Oh, the moment of truth. This is what we love.
Give me a second.
Got the fire extinguisher?
Oh, I can
Got your hard hat on?
I can hold the fire extinguisher.
This ought to be fun. Well, when he brought it here, the bike didn't run. So at least it runs now. It supposedly runs now. We'll find out. Moment of truth.
One more time.
He's got his Ferrari shoes on and he's working on Jim's bike. See now, any part of that there's parts that won't get clean with the diesel fuel, then we got to use that little wire brush. I've been 90% of it'll come off that way, and then we can do the chain.
A lot of it.
We'll just get whatever goop you can off of that chain, and then this side of the wheel could get done. This side is already done.
What's the difference? Holy crap!
What a difference, huh?
Yeah, look. Come here.
Wow. Let's see how you're doing.
Look at that hole.
Yeah, it's clean
Compared
as
to
a
that
whistle.
one, yeah.
Exactly. Some people don't use toilet paper. What can I tell you?
Ew.
Just a thought.
You know people like that?
I know one of them. I know two of them. Maybe I'm one too.
Oh.
So that side, the fins came out nice. Now the fins were really crappy here. We actually ultimately could polish the edge of those fins and this up here, but he's working on the brakes. You've got to put brake lines on the bike, and I just want to spend time working on some of the paint. You got the side covers to the bike here?
Oh, yeah, right here, I'm sorry.
Oh, all right, I'm going to start buffing them out. They could be cleaned up, and I see how bad the paint is. They look pretty good the last time I looked at them. Yeah, okay, I'll just use the buffer. I'll get over there and sort that. This way we all got a spot of the bike to work on. Nobody's sitting on somebody's lap. So we may not even need this set of carburetors.
Say that.
You,
Use a good laugh.
hey Guy, you may not even need this set of carburetors.
No, that's what that
Okay.
whole box is ready for you to take it.
Okay, and you didn't need to pirate any parts out of there? None of the Viton tips
No,
or anything?
and actually these you gave me, right? You gave me all these.
Yeah, that's
All right, so
yeah,
these you can
okay.
take because
Okay, wait till he actually is riding the bike before we take that box out of here. So we set up a table while the other guys are doing other stuff. I want to buff out the tank and the side covers, try to clean them up, get a little bit of a polish on them, and then of course at the end, a really good coat of wax. Let's see how it's coming out.
You don't have to go to the gym.
Come on, baby. And look, don't get any on those Ferrari shoes.
But look at all.
I know, it's clean, I know. Compared to, it would be hard to go in the other direction. Now, unfortunately, there are some defects in the paint that look like from neglect, and it looks like somebody, and I think what happened, they spilled some brake fluid in various parts on top of the tank. I tried to buff as much as I could off, but I don't want to go through the paint and see primer or anything, so I was really careful here.
does this brake line look like it's right? Like why is it so much from here to there? I don't know.
Oh, that's wrong.
Oh, so that's definitely wrong.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
So that's right.
That's a horseshit.
All right.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
they mixed and matched everything on this.
I don't know. Now, of course, I did everything I could to make the tank as good as I could, but there's still those, I call them paint stains. Usually what happens, people bleed in the brakes, don't put a towel over the tank, and that I've seen people do that before. Side covers came out reasonably well. The tail section and the fender, they're going to need a lot more work. Did that chain get good enough now? Should we give him a cookie?
I got my cookie.
Okay, this is what we do. If the chain passes inspection, you get a cookie. If the paint shines, you get a half a cookie.
And that's why.
So after going through every brake line in my bag, every single brake line, he finally found one that fit. Congratulations. Mm-hmm. Wow, you got one that fit, right?
Yep, look at that bad boy. And it even goes into the original hole where it was supposed to go through.
Whoa! You can charge him extra for that.
There we go.
Look at that. Look at that.
Fill them up and bleed them up. And
just like Suzuki factory workers. Look at that engine, it cleaned up nice.
You can match the lines.
And you got matching brake lines out of my bag. I had two the same.
Feels good, baby.
He's got the little chrome things there. Wow. Now this is always a problem when you eliminate the anti-dive. You got to block that off, or else don't compress the forks now.
Nope.
Go get it right now. This side of the engine's a little bit ready to go. Almost done with the chain.
Again,
How many miles on this bike? Can you read it?
48,028.
Not even broken in yet. So after 7 hours of hard work in a coal mine, guess what we get?
You're allowed to finally take break.
Pizza.
Mm-hmm. This is good.
So Najat and I are on the back from the repair day up at the guys, and we got a stunt bike guy here. What's your name?
it's Anthony.
Anthony's gonna go do some stunts for us in the parking lot here.
He has a motorcycle.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay, I gotta get my gas. Okay. Hey, there's the man. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I just rebuilt the forks.
Got the big sprocket. Very cool.
It's a lot higher. Yeah.
So it was a great day, guys, and we ended the day here with a stunt show. So another really productive day for the new A-Team. There's still some stuff Guy's going to do on the bike in the next couple days. And next time Jim rides the bike, I hope he's going to set the track record. He actually left this day when he got done working with us. He went down to the drags to watch his friend try to win the championship. He lives right near Island Dragway in Hackettstown. Anyway, the bike's coming along really well, and I'm looking forward to, I did this stunt show for Motorcycle Mall. It's out on the channel. Just type in stunt show, and it should come up, and getting rid of those anti-dives is a good thing too. But meeting Anthony was a lot of fun, and hearing his stories, and we hope maybe we'll even get down to one of the little events they have and watch him do his thing in the future. Now, if you're new to our channel, we have a very, very eclectic channel. One of the new features we have now is some of the videos are grouped into groups that you can access all the videos for one category in one mouse click. And it should be very convenient and very handy. Just check out the feature on the main screen playlist. And thanks to everybody for supporting the channel. We appreciate your support, and it makes this channel possible with all the things we do. The painting, the wheels, the polishing. And please take a second or two and hit the like button. thanks everyone for watching.